keep getting carried away with these. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we're looking at an outside lick in the key of D major or B minor. And I want you to focus on the phrasing this week. Do you want to play it legato? Do you want to use hammer-on and pull-offs? Do you want to play it staccato? Do you want to use bends, slides? It's all up to you. But these are the notes. And essentially there's only one note that really creates this outside sound. It's the B flat. So in the key of B, this is the major 7, which creates a melodic minor sound that really wants to resolve to the B, so a semitone up. Or, alternatively, in the key of D, the B flat is the flat 13 or the sharp 5, and it really wants to resolve to the A, the 5th of the D chord. So as you can see, it's a fairly short lick, and as always I encourage you to change the endings of it and change the start of it, like where do you start it on a beat. Usually I start it on the 1 end, so 1. Or you can start it on the 4 end, 3, 4. You could also start it on the 1, 3, 4. But you can start it anywhere you like. So mess around with that, change the beginning, change the ending, make it your own, work on the phrasing, have fun with it, play it in different keys, and chop responsibly. Hi and welcome to this first lick of the week, where we will be outlining a 5-4-1 progression in the key of E. We're going to be playing B, A, E. But instead of playing it like that, we're going to give it some sauce. So it's really important in this style to add a lot of phrasing devices to give it something. So here I'm adding a lot of grace notes. And they come in a lot of different ways. You can slide into them, you can do hammer-ons, pull-offs, you can work on your vibrato. Like the phrasing is really important in this style. You can palm mute. Any device is great. Just give it something unique, something of you. It's way more engaging then. So I'm choosing to do pull-offs here as grace notes. So after this 5-4-1 in E, we're going to outline an E major 7 chord, and we're going to use a lot of chromaticisms in these double stops. Very Matteo Sasato. Then we're going to follow this by a palm muted section. Still focusing on that E major 7 sound. And we're going to end this lick with more chromaticism. So that was the lick slow, and once you're familiar with it, I urge you to work it out in different keys, just to get more familiar with it. And to avoid getting stuck in a rut, this is something I really like to work on a lot, is change the endings of your lick. I think I did that in the beginning as well, so... This way, you'll engage that creative side of your brain. Instead of learning something note for note, you'll work on your own creative devices. Hope you had a great time. I will see you next week for another one. See ya. Hi everyone, and welcome to another Lick of the Week. This week we're exploring the magical world of artificial harmonics, popularized by Lenny Bro, also used by Tommy Emmanuel. Incredible players. It's a magical, wonderful sound. Creates this cascading effect, which is somewhat reminiscent of a waterfall. So you might have heard waterfall harmonics before as well. Now to start off, we're going to have a look at the chords. And the chords are essentially A minor 7, A flat 7, G major 7, and C major 7. Now, all of these chords have some tension and some alterations, basically to make it a little easier for the fretting hand. So the chord progression, fairly common, as I said before, is a 2-5-1-4 progression, but we're going to change the 5 chord to the flat 2 chord. So we're going to change it. We're going to substitute it, and it's called a tritone substitution. So the chord progression is going to go from A minor to A flat altered to G major, which is a nice strong cadence, to end it on C major 7. And once you've got that under your fingers, let's start executing these artificial harmonics. You may have noticed that I'm not using a pick right now, but you can. It's not an issue at all. So I'll explain it both ways. So to execute an artificial harmonic, what we're going to do is we're going to point with the index finger of the picking hand towards 12 frets above what we are fretting with the fretting hand. So if I'm fretting for the A minor chord, if I'm fretting the 5th fret, I'm going to try and play the 17th fret. Essentially the same as how you would play a natural harmonic. You would gently touch the fret above the fret wire 12 frets higher. So in this case, that's fret 17. We're going to point. And then we're going to play it with our thumb behind, while the index finger is slightly muting. So that's the best way to do it with the thumb. If you want to use a pick, you can hold the pick between middle finger and thumb and use the index finger in the exact same way. Now it's going to take some practice to get this clear and nice, but it's so worth it. This is one of the most beautiful sounds and it's almost exclusive to guitar. So put some time into it, it'll be worth it. Because you can use this anywhere. You can play normal lines. And you can play around with moving the right hand, in my case, the picking hand, to fret 7 frets above what you're executing, above what you're fretting, and 5 frets too, which would create different harmonics. That's 12 frets. That's 7. And that's 5. You might not hear that very clearly anymore, but sometimes it is such a beautiful sound. So now to add the cascading effect into it, we're going to alternate between a picked note and an artificial harmonic. So check out the tab for this. I'll play it slowly for you now, and I'll go back to playing it with my fingers. So that's the first chord, and we're going to include some hammer-ons in there as well, only on the high E string. So we're going to play the E, A, and D strings normally, and then we're going to play the harmonic on the low E string, followed by the G string, followed by the A string harmonic, followed by the B string, followed by the D string harmonic, and followed by the E string, where we're going to do a hammer-on. This is essentially what happens for all these chords. So play around with it, practice it. It's a beautiful technique, as I mentioned before, and put it into other lines, like make it your own, have fun with it, chop responsibly as always. And yeah, have fun. I'll see you next week. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we're looking at a long lick in E major, so let's split it up into different sections. We're going to start by playing a legato passage that's heavily influenced by players like Tom Quayle. The concept here that I would like you to focus on is to create a pattern that's 3 notes on one string followed by 5 on the next, which will give you 8 notes, which is easy to place over the beat. So the pattern goes 3 notes on one string, followed by 5 on the next. So this is a great pattern to play when you're using 3 notes per string. So let me play the lick for you slowly. And we start on an upbeat. So this note is on the beat. So now we've come to the second part that I want to talk about in this lick, and it's basically the last 2 beats, which are in the style of Eric Johnson and Eric Gales. They're a fast pentatonic run. And here I want you to focus on your phrasing. How are you executing it? I was using palm muting in the beginning, so very staccato sound, but you can also use legato. So as always, chop responsibly, have fun with this, play it in different keys, play it on different parts of the neck, and practice that 3+5 note pattern for 3 note per string scales. You can also do 5+3, also equals 8. Have fun. See ya. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we are looking at a chromatic blues idea. So clearly we are focusing on the final bar of this lick, but let's run through it. So we start this lick off by playing a C sharp minor arpeggio. But we're going to approach each chord tone from a semitone below. Then we're going to enter this bluesy lick, where repetition is the key word. Excuse my delay. And then we're gonna come to the main event, this jazzy approach with lots of chromatic and passing notes. And we're gonna end on an E major 7 arpeggio. This is one of my favorite voicings. I love that semitone there. So beautiful, so haunting. Now with this lick, I urge you to figure it out on different spots on the fretboard. This is a good thing to do for any of the licks we've studied so far. So you can play it up here, for instance. Totally different sound when you play it on the thicker strings, so be aware of that. And yeah, do this for every lick, you know? Play it everywhere. The whole thing. And also, always remember to practice it in different keys. Have some fun with it. You know what to do. As always, have fun and chop responsibly. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we're looking at a chordal gospel groove. It's a pretty long lick, so let's split it up into 3 parts. Let's start with bars 1 and 2. So we're in the key of B major. And we're gonna play some small diatonic chords. All of these chords are diatonic except for the second to last one. And that is a semitone down from the target, which is the root in this case. So I want you to notice that all these chords are pretty small block chords. And that's a great way to play in a band context and stay away from the bass, stay away from the vocal, but have a real funky, essential part of the song. So focus on that. In the second part of this lick, we're going to focus on an ascending double stop line. And I want you to focus here on which phrasing you want to use. Do you want it all palm muted? Do you want it sounding legato, or a mix of the both? I'm choosing a mix of both, and that sounds something like this. But you can also go a little more palm muted, or very legato. In the last part of this lick, we're going to play a descending double stop line, and it's a little tricky to notate, so I'm going to explain it to you. We're going to start by barring the 14th fret on the B and high E string and hammering onto the 16th fret on the B string. Then slide both of these fingers down and pull off to the B string. Now we're going to repeat this whole block on the 9th fret. And then we're going to repeat it on the G and the B string. We're going to play the 6th fret on the G string and the 7th fret on the B string. We're going to hammer onto the 8th fret on the G string. And pull off. And to end this lick, we're going to bar the 4th fret on the D and the G string. Hammer onto the 6th fret on the D string. Slide up chromatically. And end on the 9th fret of the D string and the 8th fret of the G string. Hope you enjoyed that lick of the week. Chop responsibly, and I'll see you next week. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we are looking at a lick in the key of G major, and we're going to be moving from the 5 chord, D major, to the 1 chord. Hey Miles. There's a lot of trills in this one, thrills and trills, I guess. And we're going to start off on the 11th fret on the G string and the 10th fret on the B string in the E shape of the D chord. And we're going to start by sliding up 1 fret and down. Then hammer on to 12th fret of the G string and the B string. Then 10 and 10 on the B and the high E string. Then we slide up to 15 and we do the same kind of movement as we did down there. Then we have this Jimi Hendrix-ism. And we land on the D7 to resolve back to 1. Like this. So as always, play this in different keys, practice it in small segments, and have fun with it, but chop responsibly. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we're looking at a gospel groove again, because who doesn't love gospel? A very common practice is to play these small chord voicings on the top 3 strings. So the chord here is E major. And we're going to create a melody by changing the voicings on the top. It's all E major that is implied. These small voicings, as I often say, are perfect for band context or any scenario where there's a lot of people playing, because you'll stay out of the way, but it's groovy and funky and fun. Now the most versatile part of this lick is the first 3 beats of bar 2, where we're going to play which is super versatile because you can play it over E major, B major, C sharp minor, or G sharp minor. All of these notes are in both of the keys of E major and B major, and so also their relative minors, C sharp minor and G sharp minor. This time we are resolving it to E via the B chord, B flat as a passing chord, A. So those chromatic passing chords, also 3 notes in this case, super common as well. That was a bit irresponsible, so please chop responsibly and have fun with this one. Hi everyone and welcome back to another lick of the week. This week we are looking at tasty chordal ideas to play over an E major 7. And playing these small chords is always a great idea in a band context, so mess around with this. So the chords go. So you can make a groove with just those and change the melody on top. It's a very common practice in lots of different genres, so neo soul, soul, R&B, anything you can think of. So, let me play it slowly once more. So as you can hear, there's one non-diatonic chord in here in bars 2 and 4. We're going to play the 5 of the chord we're going to land on, which is the G sharp minor or E flat minor. So we're going to play D sharp 7 or E flat 7 to resolve to the G sharp minor. So we're going to play the 5 of the 1. So that's basically the groove. So play around with this, play it in different keys, work on that non-diatonic chord. Playing the 5 of the chord you're landing on is a great way to use some extra chords in there. You can start reharmonizing things. It's very common in a lot of different genres as well. So have fun with this. But don't just play it in one key. I just chose this because over the E major 7 we can have the low E ring out. So your ears can get used to the tensions on top. And then just focus on the phrasing. It's always about phrasing in the details. As always, chop responsibly. Have a good week. Oh, I got a little carried away there. Welcome back to another lick of the week, everyone. This week we're looking at a chordal groove that is a great way to end a song. So instead of focusing on different endings, maybe try and attach this to the end of a song. It's a great groovy thing, and it's in the key of B major. Essentially, this lick is a bunch of inversions of the 5 and the 4 chord. So we're going to be playing F sharp to E with the chromatic passing chord. And now, for taste, we're going to throw some pull-offs and hammer-ons in the mix. So as I said, we're going to be playing different inversions of these two chords, F sharp and E. So we're going to start in root position, followed by second inversion, followed by first inversion, and then we're going to play the relative minor chords of both of these chords. So we're going to be playing D sharp minor with an F sharp in the bass, to C sharp minor with an E in the bass, and then resolve it to B. Now the beautiful thing about this lick is that you don't need to play it in its entirety. You can resolve it to B anywhere. You can do it after one go. Or two. So it's a very versatile lick. You can also play it up. So it's a very versatile lick, and I want you to have fun with this. Maybe change the beginnings of this, throw it at the end of a song, see how you go. But chop responsibly. I'll see you next week.